Hey guys, it's election eve. I'm here with my partner in crime, Sam Stein, and there's a lot happening out there. A lot of campaigning is going on, and I wouldn't exactly say that on the MAGA side, what we're seeing is a lot of discipline. A lot of focus, a lot of sticking to the message. Things are getting
Well,
a little
wait.
kooky out there in MAGA world on the final 24 hours. No.
It depends what you define as message, right? Like that might be the message they're
I,
sticking to.
you
Could be
mean
that they want to talk about this
like
stuff, like Diddy.
they want they want to talk about Diddy.
Allow your blood the chance to boil and meet the Bulwark, the most annoying rhinos this side of YouTube. They're obsessed with Liz Cheney, and they are absolutely cringe, dyed in the wool, beyond head over heels in love with Kamala. And there is no length they will not go to in order to attempt to oppose Trump on the Bulwark. They are TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, central over on the Bulwark. Now let's dive right in and enjoy the cringe.
They want to talk about
About that squirrel.
Yeah, the squirrel. They want to talk about
The
taking
squirrel.
Gen Z twinks as their concubine and keeping them
That
as
was a weird
sex
one.
slaves.
Well, talk about two completely unrelated things. The first, an instance of insane government oversight where some woman in Texas saw this couple of influencers over in New York had a squirrel and a raccoon living with them inside their house, and apparently called the police multiple times to have these animals euthanized. And that happened. These two animals were literally euthanized. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous oversight. Millions of people loved this squirrel. Millions of people valued this squirrel's life more than the life of the woman who called the police that ended up coming up and snatching and euthanizing the squirrel. Millions of people cared more about this squirrel than the woman who called the police on the couple who had the squirrel. And yet somehow this was allowed to happen. This ridiculous oversight. It's just insane. The police raided this couple's house to euthanize this squirrel and this raccoon. It's absurd. Anyways, with the other thing, this is not even a guy who's officially associated with the Trump campaign. This is just some guy on Twitter criticizing these losers who all are white dudes for Harris. So this is not MAGA. This is not representative of the MAGA movement generally. This is just someone making some comments on Twitter.
Like,
That was a
who
real
knows
one.
what's
That was
out there.
one. Yeah.
So we're going to go through a few of them, of what we've seen here the last 24 hours. And I think the most relevant to the actual campaign, since he's on the ticket, is J.D. Vance as VP. And let's take a look at his campaign stop here just a few hours ago on Monday afternoon.
But in 2 days, we are going to take out the trash in Washington, D.C., and the trash's name is Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there are a couple
Oh,
things here I want your take on. Number one, I mean, pretty sexist. Pretty sexist. Just straight sexism. Yesterday's Donald Trump rally. It's like Kamala is working on the corner, making jokes about how she's a
that was
hooker. Today the VP's calling her trash. The wannabe VP, and then there's also they seem to have some mixed messaging on the trash. It's like they're offended that they're trash, but then the other guys are trash, but the Puerto Ricans aren't trash, but the migrants are trash. There's a lot of mixed messages.
That's a good point, because yesterday Megyn Kelly was dressed in a trash bag.
Look at this ridiculous hair splitting they have to engage in to make it seem like they have some sort of relevant point. Biden called 80 million Americans trash. The Atlantic tried to lie about it, or the AP tried to lie about it, act like that didn't happen. Mainstream media running cover for the fact he did this over the joke of a comedian who wasn't Trump or Vance. And suddenly you have all these major news outlets reporting on it like it's the worst thing to happen ever. Man. The sitting president of the United States calling practically half of the voting public trash. And the best these guys have to say about the situation is, oh, do Republicans think trash is a good thing or a bad thing?
for Halloween, and that was like a sign of like respect to dress as trash. And now JD is saying, well, Harris is trash. And if you extend the metaphor, Donald Trump was in a trash truck, a garbage truck, and I can't follow this shit.
I guess he's taking out Kamala.
I just don't understand it.
I would say this. Kamala has some dignity. So I don't expect we'll see her in a trash bag tomorrow. But it would be pretty funny to like do a Megyn Kelly, sort of remix.
Look at me. Yeah, I got my trash bag on. I can be trash too. We're all trash. Let me just say, this is such a dignified way to end an election. This is really when the fate of democracy and the republic is hanging on a balance. I do appreciate that we're talking about trash and squirrels.
And it's just like, and I especially like the from the Trump side, it is like it's just been classic Trump for them to be like, you're garbage, we're a trash can.
No, we're garbage.
Yeah, and then they get called garbage, and then it's like, oh, I'm so offended.
Oh, shit, no.
I'm so offended. And then one day later, it's like, no, you're trash again. You're trash now. It's like, what? I thought you were offended. I thought it was.
And also and also we're not supposed to be offended at things, but then we are offended at things. And
we're only offended. We're only offended.
I'm just tired of it.
81-year-old.
I want someone to. Yeah.
When an 81-year-old president garbles out nonsense talk, and it's slightly, aggressive, but it's not 100% clear. That's the only time you can be offended. Okay.
No, but the next administration should honestly write down and make a law like the things we're allowed to be offended by. I feel like that would be universally praised. Just so we have clarity on this stuff.
I think that goes against the First Amendment. I'm still
You're still an absolutist about that stuff. Okay, fine.
I'm still a constitutional.
Let's get to the good shit. Come on.
Last thing though on this, I'll tell you one more thing. I was with Rosie Perez, actress.
Of course.
Puerto Rican.
You and Rosie go way back. Yeah.
So I was with Rosie over at NBC a few minutes ago, and she was saying that she was campaigning in Allentown, and she had the same report that your buddy Daniel Moran's did, where she was talking to people, to Puerto Ricans on the street, and they were confused. They thought that Trump's trash man outfit was making fun of them.
It was just rubbing it in a little bit more. Yeah.
So I really do enjoy that.
Oops.
Watch them act like this one little thing is going to swing the entire Hispanic vote days before the election. Ridiculous.
Backfire. Okay, we've got a couple more. Who do we want to talk about first? Don Jr. or Tucker?
It's just like, how can you choose? This is like
dealer's choice, Sam. Which one do you want to go first?
Don Jr. Okay, definitely Don Jr.
Why would anyone, even a liberal celebrity, endorse Kamala Harris? Well, one reason is because we're seeing unprecedented amounts of pay for play. Again, none of this is organic. It's a paid influencer operation. Know that. The celebrities who are getting paid are getting probably paid in another way because they're either on an Epstein list or a Diddy party list or both. We all saw that, how magically Diddy gets busted and all of a sudden everyone's endorsing the Democrat. Just out of nowhere. Huh. The people that were endorsing Trump, well, we're going to go the other way now. I wonder why that is.
Okay, I have to start here because there's so much
to our life. How is this real?
There's so many. There's like at least 3 or 4 things that we have to unpack here. One is why does he have that camera angle? I don't want to look right up his nose. I just don't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll find some substances up there.
It's a well-worn canal. It's a well-worn canal. You want us to show off.
Secondly, I was just joking. Don't be outraged, Don. Secondly, his father's painting shadowing over him in the backdrop is like, there's like a Freudian element to this video. Like he just can't, his dad just grimacing down, son, do the most absurd thing possible for me. And then third, the Diddy shit is, I mean, if you actually think about what he was saying there, is like they went after Diddy because they wanted to blackmail celebrity friends of Diddy into endorsing Kamala Harris. These are the people that simultaneously call Kamala Harris the dumbest human being on the earth. And yet she managed to stage this incredible bank shot involving the Justice Department, a bunch of celebrities. And, it all worked out perfectly right at the end of the campaign. She really nailed the landing on that for such a dunce. So
obviously, it wouldn't just be Kamala doing these things, arranging these things. It would be people around her planning them and orchestrating them. It's just amazing how disingenuous this entire podcast is. They could at least meet MAGA or the right where it's at and engage these arguments in good faith, but the things they decide to misinterpret are just ridiculous.
Yeah, but what's Don Jr. up to? Also, he had this weird pregnant pause when he was speaking. I thought he was having trouble, and I thought he might stop, but he kind of found the word. The whole thing was very disturbing. And then you realize, like, he's going to have, like, tremendous influence over our country.
Can I ask about his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should put, like, what has happened? Like, the face is.
Do you want to put it back up? Can we put it
puffy.
back up?
Can we look at his face again? Let's look at his face one more time. Yeah, that's good. We can just listen on mute. It's very puffy.
Oh yeah, just go ahead and look at his face and say it's puffy and pretend like something's wrong instead of talking about anything with substance.
Like his cheeks and his eyes don't open all the way. Why aren't his eyes opening?
Maybe they are open, but we just have a weird angle. But no, I think you're right. I think
it's a very heavy lid. I don't know, man. It's a strange look, for sure. Oof.
Why can't he just, like every normal person, just find 4 books, prop up the computer, get a straight shot? We don't need to do. No one wants to see me like this. You know, it's like no one wants that.
I don't think he's a big reader, Sam. I don't think he's got 4 books just sitting around, unless he's got 4 extra copies of Triggered by Don Jr. I think Triggered by Don Jr. is the only book that he's read.
He's just got like 15 copies in his library. Yeah, I signed these for myself.
Yeah, I think you make a couple of astute points. I want to just follow up on. One, just the fact that these are the people that are going to be around. Like, there's the one seriousness element of this. Like, it goes back to the Madison Square Garden rally. It's like we can laugh about this, but JD and Don Jr. and Elon and Tucker and Bannon, like, this is the posse. All right, this is who they're rolling with, and so it's important to laugh at them and take it seriously. Lastly, just on the conspiracy itself, Donald Trump and Diddy got along quite well. A lot of photos with Donald Trump and Diddy.
Just Google the images; they're everywhere.
A lot of photos of Donald Trump and Epstein. Epstein said apparently he was Trump's best friend. So there's a little bit of every accusation is a confession element to this.
And here we have another classic leftist accusation of hypocrisy to deflect from the fact that the people they support are globalist ghouls who obviously want to destroy humanity. The whole picture association game. Even though Trump kicked Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, these people still have to make up these lies. Bill Clinton, a known crazed sex maniac who put a cigar up 19 or 20 something year olds private parts. Clearly a lunatic, and these people still want to impugn Trump's character. Bill Clinton hasn't been canceled for that, by the way. He hasn't been Me Too'd.
Yeah, nice fresco. Okay, let's
okay, so to your point, Tucker Carlson, who spoke on stage at the RNC, who just had one of the last, rallies with Trump on stage. This guy is going to be a player if Trump wins. And here he is, like, at the end of the election, talking about, like, revealing to the world that he, in fact, was mauled by a demon in his sleep.
And I got attacked while I was asleep with my wife and 4 dogs in the bed and mauled. Physically mauled.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon.
Which, I feel bad, but let's
watch the full clip.
Nuclear weapons are demonic. There's no upside to them at all, and that anyone who claims otherwise is either ignorant or doing the bidding of the forces that created nuclear technology in the first place, which are not human forces, obviously. And let me just ask you this, which I've asked a million people at dinner parties, but never in public. What was the moment we can point to that nuclear technology was invented? We can point to Isaac Newton and say, what apple fell on his head? Or we can point to Albert Hoffman in his lab messing around with the, ergot bacteria. That's when LSD was made. I've never met a person who can isolate the moment where nuclear technology became known to man. And so where did it come from exactly? Oh, German scientists in the 30s. Really, when? Name the date. And I've never heard anybody do that. It's very clear to me that these are demonic. I mean, these are evil.
I don't know, man. That's crazy.
I mean, are nuclear weapons, which have the potential to create a nuclear holocaust and nuclear winter, wipe out all of humanity, are those not evil? Is that what you're saying here, Bulwark? Is that really the position you want to take on this? I mean, nothing Tucker said about demons. People wouldn't have batted an eye at that within living memory. In the 1980s, people talk like that. It's some people. I saw people making fun of Tucker all online over this because so many people are now just materialist atheists who can't believe in anything beyond themselves. I saw so many people making fun of him over that, and I'm like, this would not have been ridiculous like 20 years ago. People are pretending like he's so crazy for saying this. Like, people had spiritual experiences. People continue to have spiritual experiences, which can't be empirically explained by science. I'm not saying I necessarily believe that's what happened to Tucker, but I don't mean that it's ridiculous to suggest that he's some sort of schizophrenic who belongs in an asylum for saying it, right? And it's ridiculous for people to suggest that a Christian worldview is schizophrenic and harmful on that same basis.
Well, actually, Jamie, let's can we pull up the other clip where he talks about how being attacked by the demon made him realize he's a better man?
It's just like insane. Trust me, that's like a secular, rational position on it. You don't have to be a Christian or religious in any sense to acknowledge that that's just true. No one ever talks about that. And so I just want to approach this election with that perspective. And that event, that attack on me has helped me to do that. So again, I'm really grateful for it. I wouldn't change it if I could.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. So I think that's and Bannon's just like, okay. So this is like,
you think that was too much for Bannon?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Bannon starts talking about World War II. He's like, what are you talking? He's like, I've become a better man. He's like, this demon attack that happened in my bed.
So much for open-minded, free-thinking liberalism. Am I right?
Has led me to become a better human, and I'm grateful for it. I want to thank the demon for attacking me. Sam, I don't know what to there was I was checking out the podcast ratings this morning. The old Bulwark podcast is sliding in behind Tucker, and I got to tell you, maybe we should start kind of spitballing some different kind of extraterrestrial actions. I mean, maybe if you or I had kind of like a vision from the netherworlds, maybe we could scoot up into the 7th slot.
Well, maybe it just takes being actually mauled by a demon, and we just haven't been fortunate enough to have that experience.
He was in a bed.
You two are already possessed and working for them. That's why you don't need to be mauled.
I should say he was in the bed with 4 dogs and his wife, and I haven't had anybody ask him. I haven't heard any good follow-up questions about why he isn't fingering the dog here as potential culprit.
He's like, I had these scratch marks on me, like just totally inexplicable.
I was in a bed with 4 canines, and I was like, the only explanation I could come up with was that a demon came down up from Hades.
I mean, I don't even know what type of dogs Tucker has. They may not even be big dogs, but I would imagine that one of the reasons he rejected this option is because the dogs normally sleep in his bed, and this has never happened before.
And
it's Occam. It's clearly Occam's razor, right? It's like got to be a demon.
I want to loop together the 3 videos.
Okay.
Because Tucker Carlson. Again, about why these people are gross and they're conspiratorial and they're weird and they have weird camera angles, but it also there is really a plot. Like one of the key reasons why JD Vance is there at all is because Tucker Carlson told Trump that if he picked a neocon like Marco Rubio, the deep state was going to take him out. And we don't know how seriously Trump took that. I can't get inside Trump's brain. I think that's even too deep for Mark Caputo to get into his brain. But we know that. But we
also know that Don Jr. We also know Don Jr. was a huge JD Vance fan.
It's advocate, right? So it's like that is the group, like the people that are either so deep in the sauce that they really think that there's a deep state plot to kill Trump and the demons are attacking Tucker Carlson in his bed, or
Dude, these aren't even the same category of thing. There's been 2, potentially 3 attempts on Trump's life. Tucker Carlson has a story. You may find that to be credible, you may find it to be far-fetched, but he has a personal story. There has been 2 recorded attempts on Trump's life, potentially 3. And they're literally making this equivalency between the 2. Of course, it would be natural to conclude after 2 people at least attempt to assassinate a presidential candidate that there could be some sort of conspiracy behind that. That's not ridiculous to suggest. The Bulwark lies through its teeth. These are the worst people on the planet. They are ghouls dressed up in human skin, acting like they are people.
They're just so just soulless and willing to make up anything to put somebody like JD Vance in there to advance their ends. Like that's the posse. They're rolling in 24 hours out. Demons, Diddy conspiracy theories, misogyny, childless cat ladies. Like that's what they're rolling with.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that. There's like a difference, but it's not that vast a difference between saying Haitians are eating your pets.
Yeah.
And saying Diddy was released or arrested because they want to get black celebrities to endorse Harris. Like, it's a step. Obviously, it's not the same, but it's like in the same pool of insanity. And this is the crew that will surround Trump. This is not Reince Priebus and Mick Mulvaney and those types. These people are they believe this shit, or they're just incredibly cynical liars.
That's it. Good luck, America. All right, that's Sam Stein. We're going to be back tomorrow night, 7:30, live on YouTube. I'll be here. Other people will be in and out. We're going to be here all night. Come hang, subscribe to the feed, give us a thumbs up, press the little alarm bell button, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Man, I hope you survived that cancer. I know I barely did. That was the Bulwark. These people can never be allowed to win. Call everyone you know and tell them to vote. Because these people are literally the worst. They are liars. They're scum. They are traitors. And they don't believe in anything. They want to destroy this country. They think Liz Cheney is a good choice to win over Republicans. These people are so out of touch. They are comically evil. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share it. And Red Channels will catch you in the next one.